Military junta appears vicious and invisible, they are actually very weak. You know? They are paper tigers. They are not the first ones. This regime like this is not the first one to dominate Uganda. We were dominated by the most powerful empire possibly to exist on our globe. The British Empire dominated us here. Those were the makers of guns. These ones just they give them second-hand guns, which they run around with. There is nothing new that they use, you know. All these mambas are the ones the South Africans were using in the, you know, long time ago. Nothing comes to Uganda new, you know. Except that there are no licenses, they would be in Owino, like with the rest of the old clothes and old, you know. So these are not as powerful as the British. But we defeated the British. People here defeated the British. Our ancestors defeated the British and they left. So how can we fail to defeat these pretenders? How? But we won't get rid of them simply by going by their rules. We cannot use their rules to remove them. No. We will not use that they have organized an election, they are the ones who will announce. And you've seen how they announce. They announce what they want. They announce what they want and say, you go to our court now. You know? So, it is doable. We should not have inferiority complex that this is a very difficult thing to do. Provided we take it seriously, what we need to do. The commonality of purpose, that we are together. If people unite and decide what to do, it wouldn't take 2 weeks here with the regime still here. Just 2 weeks. It wouldn't. And if what is going on is not sufficient reason to get rid of this regime quickly, then nothing maybe will ever be. I have not seen in the last elections, even when we went to the bush, I was in the election of 1980. I campaigned in the election of 1980. There was nothing anywhere near what we are seeing now in terms of violations. It was not there. That people can't sleep in their homes. Thousands, some of you and the media is not highlighting it enough. Thousands of our young men are dying in dungeons in this city. Thousands. I have seen those who have escaped from, not escaped, been released from some of those dungeons. And the stories are horrific of what is going on with our young people who are being kidnapped from homes all over the country. It's not just here in Kampala. They are kidnapping people in Iganga, kidnapping people in Masaka, kidnapping people all over the place. And they are full in the dungeons here, under terrible torture and death. They are depositing dead bodies in mortuaries. And when they are unclaimed, they go and bury them as people without anybody who knows them. And you know, now they have terrorized the country. Everybody seems to be quiet. As you may, if you are passing in town, you may think there is nothing wrong going on. We cannot leave this situation to continue like this. You know? Soldiers all over the place, up to now, everywhere. Guns, guns, guns. We can stop this. It's possible. We have the power to do so. But you see, when they make you lose confidence, then they can get away with any kind of murder. This will not be solved by Besigye, by Kyagulanyi, by Mulodi, by our President Power. It will not be solved by us, the individual leaders. This is a matter that must be solved by Ugandans, all of us working together. And this is why I have always, felt very sad when I hear people saying, you said that we are going to work, and the junta will go, but it didn't go. So if it didn't go, is it my fault? Now, is it only me who is suffering? No. If my plan was wrong, bring a better one, I will join you. But we must find a plan that saves us. That's the whole idea. So for us, the purpose of leadership is to guide what can help. But the solution must come from everybody. All our people must be activists for their own freedom. And everybody must make the choice personally. I and my colleagues, we made personal choices to fight for our freedom. Whatever we meet, whatever we encounter, we are ready to take it for our freedom. Nobody pays us. Sometimes you hear young people saying, but I need food at home. Yes, you need food at home, but who will give you the food? You must fight even when you are hungry, because that's how you will get food sustainably once you have control over your wealth. When we went to the bush, some of us were very young. In my case, I was earning a very good salary in a first-class hospital. I chose to go and stay hungry and walk on foot hundreds of miles. Live under rain, what? You'll never get freedom cheaply. You'll never get freedom without pain. If people think that somehow freedom will come, they'll just call us and say, now we have had enough. Here it is. We are going to perish and become extinct. So, what do we do? Hunting our people down. All the money they are using to hunt our people down was borrowed. It's not Ugandan money. In the last, from March up to now, they have borrowed about $1.7 billion, which was borrowed. 600 million euro from Stanbic Bank, 500 from IMF, 500 million, 300 from World Bank, and others from small entities. It is that money that is torturing us. And yet we are the ones to pay it. Now, it's time that we also send a very clear message to the leaders of this junta. That giving loans like they are doing is the perfect description of odious debt. And in history, there is clear precedence that citizens have a right not to pay odious debts, where the lender lends knowing what the borrower is doing, that it's not doing it in the interest of their people. The lender must take responsibility. Even as we talk, they are all over the place borrowing more on our behalf to use it again to kill our people. So this is to send that very clear message to the lenders of Uganda. They shall lend us when the people of Uganda have a say in what happens. Now to ourselves. As I have said, the starting point for our freedom must be reclaiming our confidence as citizens. It's a huge, huge problem, which sometimes people don't appreciate. Some of our countrymen, especially, young people that had not seen what we have been going through, thought that maybe it was easy to push aside. But I think this election has confirmed to everybody that this is a huge problem that we are grappling with for now 30 years. It's a huge problem. And we should not treat it casually, Now, a military junta that takes the rights of citizens away, holds the country hostage, endangers everybody equally. Whatever formation you are in, you have no right. You can be killed anytime. You can be locked up anytime. Your property can be taken away anytime. Like you see people being thrown off their land and so on. You have no rights in the country. Those who live in military juntas are not citizens. They have no citizen rights. And so, our struggle is not a contestation for office. This is again to underscore that point. That the struggle in Uganda is not to contest for the office of president or to contest for the office of Lord Mayor. No, that's not the struggle. The struggle before the people of Uganda is to become citizens again, to have rights, equal rights as citizens, to have equal opportunities as citizens. The power we talk about, which we are contesting, that we want our power as citizens. Citizens must become sovereign, must become the owners of the country. We are not owners of Uganda. Owners have power over their wealth, first and foremost. You have power over your wealth. We don't. Citizens have power to determine how they are governed and who governs them. We don't have that power. Citizens have power to determine who is right and who is wrong. That is a citizen power, to determine justice, who is right, who is wrong. How and what each one should share. Those basic powers are the powers we are fighting for, all of us. And I always say that this struggle, therefore, is not limited to the political groupings that you know, FDC, DP, I don't know, NUP. No, this struggle is for every single citizen, including you members of the media. And to stop it means we must all act. We should do everything to make sure that we never get an election of this kind again, ever again. Mr. Museveni was not even supposed to be part of this election. The Constitution stopped him already. He violated it. Took soldiers in parliament, beat up people to become a candidate. Took us to a pandemic to become a candidate, to stay in office. These violations, gross violations of human rights, of democratic principles that are enshrined in our Constitution, that are enshrined in regional treaties that we have, that are enshrined in international covenants, must be tackled by everyone. So apart from us Ugandans doing something, those regional partners, international partners in those covenants must be called. They have a duty to stop this also. It should not just be ourselves. Everybody has a duty. Uganda is signatory to the East African, to the Constitutive Act of the East African Community. So the presidents of the East African Community should, and their people should not sit as all this terror is going on in Uganda, simply to keep one man in office. How can we, why are we in the East African Community then? Does it have any sense? Why are we in the African Union? And the African Union Charter, that people's and human and people's rights of the African Union, what are they doing about them? Today, I think, was it today, I saw that the European Union ambassadors are going to visit Kyagulanyi. This is not just time for visiting and then what? There must be clear actions if they want to take action, they visit, you know? It's not a time for you know, public relations. And the European Union has been quite interested in a positive way in Uganda's democratization. They have always put in a lot of effort in observing elections and writing the terrible things that happen and what can be done to correct them. So it's really time for action. It's time for action for everybody. It's time for action. We cannot just keep on talking. It must be time for action. And so even as we talk to you, we are also talking to the international community to do something. But this is ours to suffer, and it is ours to solve primarily. Foreigners may help, and if they do, wonderful. But it is us to solve this. And so today, we want to simply make a clarion call to all Ugandans. No, but before I go to the Ugandans, that appears to me to be the major problem. Twenyoma. We now feel unable to do anything. We have been rendered so self-despising that we think we can't do anything. But worse still, those who try to do something, they are also weakened by others. They say, but you know, even then, nature okola nacho techiriyo. Taina chakola, but nature okola. You know? So that, we must solve that. We must solve that. Chenkola bwe kibanga tekiriyo gwokola yekirala ndabe nti gye kikola ki nti kyekiri nange ekyange bwe kiba tekirina gye kiraga kwate ekikyo tugende. Because it is the same struggle. It is the same pain. So we support all actions aimed at causing change. I have heard people saying, you know, abagenze mu kooti bonoona biseera. No, I am not of that view. Nze ngenze mu kooti emirundi egiwera era nagamba sijja kugenda lwa nsonga ez'ebimu bye nalaba. I don't go to court. I didn't go to court in 2011. In 2011, I didn't go to court in 2016. But that doesn't mean that you don't achieve anything in court. It's just like the elections. We go to the elections knowing they will not announce me. And that's why now I announce myself. Because nobody will announce. You know? So, in the courts, we can achieve something. All the judges ruled against Mbabazi when he went. But they ordered some things to be done. And those are important things they ordered also, if they could be done. So every avenue has something it helps. Even though it doesn't take you to the ultimate point where you want, it helps. So let's not weaken those who are going to court. If you have any evidence, let's give it to them. And they go. But let's not think that that alone will help us. And what will help us is even those judges, when they are looking at these papers, to look at them hearing rumbles all over the place, and they say, these matters may not be easy, you know? But when they are looking at these papers and you know, there is, everybody is quiet, nobody's, because they have somebody also breathing behind their backs. Museveni is holding a gun, you know, literally. on these judges also. He's the one who appointed them. He's given them a lot of benefits recently. So they must also know that we are also there. So that it's not just a one-sided thing. And we must alert them that we are there and that this is our country. Because these are political cases about people, what people feel and say. These are not cases of, demarcating boundaries or whatever. These are cases of opinions of people. Because Mr. Museveni is trying to say that I was validly elected. So, it's important that even as the court process is going on, we, the citizens of Uganda, start saying this cannot go on endlessly. We must start taking action against all this. And before the election, when we said we have two fronts now, Plan A and Plan B, the junta, as usual, using its advantaged control of media, started drumming up, these people want war. They want to take the country to war. Of course, if we want to take the country to war, it's also our right. Why did they come through war? They think they have the monopoly of war. Nobody else should go to war. How did Mr. Museveni arrive in that office? It was through war. And so he thinks everybody has no right to war. All Ugandans have a right like he has. But we have been extremely clear, right from the word go, that our option, Plan B, is non-violent. We have been abundantly clear. And not because we fear war, no. I have been through it. I don't think there is a gun I can't manage. We don't fear war. It is simply because war will not deliver what we want. War will not deliver democracy. That's why we went through war, we won the war, and we are where we are. War recreates violence. Violence begets violence. So we consciously, ideologically, detach ourselves from violence. But a struggle is not just about war. A struggle can be carried out without war. I have told you the British were sent, whereas there a war here. How did the British go? There was no war to send them from here. Just ordinary people organizing. Have you read about the Augustine Kamya movement? Especially you, the young people, you should read about what Augustine Kamya did with the ordinary people. They starved the British Empire of the money that they were using to dominate them.